She looks around nervously and answers in a whisper. Hola, Miguel, ¿qué pasó, mi amor? Hello, Miguel, what happened, my love? Her voice gets worried as she listens to her 8-year-old son crying on the other end. No llores, bebé. Mamá va a arreglar esto. Maybe mommy will fix this. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echo behind her. Mrs. Thompson, the hotel manager, appears with her arms crossed and her face red with anger. Maria, what do you think you're doing? Personal calls during work hours? This is completely unacceptable. Quickly ending the call. I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson. It was my son. He's sick at school, and I don't care if the building was on fire. You know the rules. No personal calls during work time. This is your 3rd warning this month. Maria's hands shake as she grips her phone tighter. Please, Mrs. Thompson, my son needed help with his homework. He doesn't speak English well, and the teacher... Enough excuses. You're fired. Maria, pack your things and get out. Security will escort you if needed. Maria's eyes fill with tears. She's worked at this hotel for 3 years, cleaning rooms, making beds, and always doing her best work. Please, I need this job. I'm a single mother. I have rent to pay, food to buy for my son. Should have thought about that before breaking company rules. You're done here. Unknown to both women, a tall man in an expensive suit stands around the corner, listening to every word. His name is James Wellington, one of the richest men in the city. He owns several hotels, but he's here today checking on his investment in the Grand Palace Hotel. James watches as Maria slowly packs her cleaning supplies, tears rolling down her cheeks. He hears her whisper a prayer softly in Spanish. Dios mío, ayúdame. ¿Qué voy a decirle a Miguel? My God, help me. What am I going to tell Miguel? James Wellington steps forward, his expensive shoes clicking on the marble floor. Excuse me, miss. Both Maria and Mrs. Thompson turn around, shocked. Mrs. Thompson's face goes white when she recognizes the millionaire. Mr. Wellington, sir, I didn't know you were here today. I was just handling a small staff issue. James ignores Mrs. Thompson completely and walks straight to Maria. What's your name, young lady? Wiping her tears. Maria Rodriguez, sir. Maria, I couldn't help but overhear. Your son needed help with homework. Nodding, yes, sir. He's only 8. The school called because he was crying. He couldn't understand his math homework, and I just wanted to help him. James looks at Mrs. Thompson with cold eyes. Mrs. Thompson, I'll speak with you in my office. Maria, please don't leave yet. I'd like to talk with you. 3 years ago, Maria came to America from Mexico with her young son, Miguel. Maria, whom her black parents brought to Mexico when she was 2, shortly before they both died, had been living from one foster home to another. She eventually got married at 19 to an abusive man. Few years into the marriage, she was running from an abusive husband who never let her work or learn English properly. Maria was brave, but she was also scared and alone in a new country. When Maria first arrived, she spoke very little English. She took any job she could find to feed her son. She worked at fast food restaurants, cleaned offices at night, and even sold flowers on street corners. Every dollar she earned went to rent, food, and Miguel's school supplies. One day, Maria saw a job posting at the Grand Palace Hotel. Housekeeping position available. No experience required. Will train. Maria knew this was her chance for a stable job with better pay. At her interview, Maria was nervous. Her English wasn't perfect, but her heart was strong. Why do you want this job, Maria? I want to give my son a better life. I work very hard. I'm never late. I clean everything perfect. The interviewer saw something special in Maria's eyes. He hired her on the spot. For 3 years, Maria worked harder than anyone else at the hotel. She arrived early, stayed late, and always had a smile for the guests. The other cleaning ladies loved her because she helped everyone. But Mrs. Thompson, the manager, never liked Maria. Maybe it was because Maria spoke Spanish, or maybe it was jealousy because the guests always complimented Maria's work. What do you think? Have you ever worked with someone who didn't like you for no good reason? Let me know in the comments. Every month, Maria sent money to her mother in Mexico and saved every penny she could for Miguel's future. She dreamed of the day when Miguel would go to college and become a doctor or a lawyer. Miguel was a smart boy, but school was hard for him. English was his second language, and sometimes he needed extra help with his homework. Maria always helped him, even when she was tired from work. The other hotel workers knew Maria was a good mother. During her breaks, she would call Miguel to make sure he got home safely from school. She would help him with homework over the phone, speaking in Spanish so he could understand better. Most of the time, Maria was careful about personal calls. She only answered if it was an emergency. But on this particular day, Miguel was crying at school because he couldn't understand his math problems. The teacher told him to call his mother. Maria knew she could get in trouble, but what mother can ignore her crying child? Now let me tell you about James Wellington. James wasn't born rich. His story might surprise you. 40 years ago, James was a poor kid from Detroit. His father left when he was 5, and his mother worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. James learned early that life wasn't fair, but he also learned that hard work could change everything. James's mother, Rosa Wellington, was a hotel maid just like Maria. She cleaned rooms at a fancy hotel downtown while James went to school. Sometimes James would visit his mother at work, and he saw how hard she worked for very little money. One day, when James was 12, his mother got sick at work. She collapsed while cleaning a room. The hotel manager fired her the same day, saying she was unreliable. James never forgot that day. He promised himself that if he ever became successful, he would treat workers with respect and kindness. James worked hard in school, got scholarships, and eventually built a business empire. He now owns hotels, restaurants, and real estate companies. But he never forgot where he came from. James still visits his mother's grave every month. He always brings flowers and tells her about his life. He promises her that he tries to be kind to people who work hard, just like she did. That's why James was at the Grand Palace Hotel that day. He always visits his investments personally to make sure workers are treated fairly. Back to our story. James Wellington asks Maria to sit down in the hotel lobby. Mrs. Thompson stands nearby looking very nervous. "Maria, tell me about your son." Surprised by his kindness. "His name is Miguel. He's 8 years old. He's very smart, but English is hard for him. Today he called because he was crying at school. He couldn't understand his math homework." "And you helped him over the phone?" "Yes, sir. I know I broke the rules, but he was crying. I couldn't let my baby cry alone." James nods, remembering his own mother. "Maria, do you know who I am?" "Mrs. Thompson called you Mr. Wellington. Are you the owner?" "I own part of this hotel, yes, but more importantly, I'm the son of a woman who cleaned hotel rooms just like you do." Maria's eyes widen in surprise. "My mother Rosa worked so hard to take care of me. She was fired once for getting sick at work. I never forgot that day." James turns to Mrs. Thompson. "Mrs. Thompson, in my hotels, we don't fire good workers for caring about their children. Maria, you're not fired, you're promoted." "Sir, I was just following company policy. The policy changes today. Maria, I want you to be our new assistant manager for housekeeping. Your job will be to make sure all our cleaning staff are treated with respect." Maria can't believe what she's hearing. "Sir, I don't understand. I just got fired, and now you want to promote me?" "Maria, I've been watching this hotel for months. The guests always mention how clean their rooms are and how kind the cleaning lady is. They're talking about you." James pulls out his phone and shows Maria some online reviews. "Look at this review. The cleaning lady at Grand Palace is amazing. She left a small origami flower on my daughter's pillow because she saw the drawing my daughter made." "That was you, wasn't it?" Maria blushes and nods. "The little girl drew a picture of flowers. I thought she would like a real flower made from paper." "And this review, I was sick in my room and the cleaning lady brought me tea and asked if I needed anything. She didn't have to do that. Also you?" The man looked very sick. "I have a son. I know how it feels to be sick and alone." What do you think about Maria's kindness? Do you believe small acts of kindness can make a big difference? Tell me your thoughts. James smiles. This is exactly the kind of person he wants working in his hotels. "Maria, your new salary will be 3 times what you were making before. You'll also get health insurance for you and Miguel, and a scholarship fund for Miguel's college education." Maria starts crying, but this time they are tears of joy. "Sir, why are you doing this for me? You don't even know me." "I know enough. You're a hard worker, a loving mother, and a kind person. That's all I need to know." James turns to Mrs. Thompson again. "Mrs. Thompson, you're fired. Security will escort you out." But sir, I was just doing my job. Your job is to manage people, not to destroy families. A real manager would have found a way to help Maria balance work and motherhood, not punish her for caring about her child. 1 month later, Maria starts her new job as assistant manager. She arrives at work in a new uniform, carrying herself with confidence she never had before. Her first task is to create new policies for the housekeeping staff. Maria makes sure all workers can take emergency calls from their children. She also sets up a small area where workers can help their kids with homework during breaks. Miguel visits the hotel after school sometimes. All the workers love him, and he practices his English with the front desk staff. His grades improve because he has more help with homework. James Wellington checks on Maria regularly. He's impressed with how she manages the housekeeping team. The workers respect her because she understands their struggles. One day, a new cleaning lady named Carmen is hired. Carmen is also a single mother from El Salvador. She's scared, and her English isn't very good. Maria takes Carmen under her wing, just like she wished someone had done for her. Carmen, don't worry. We're all family here. If you need help, just ask. And if your daughter calls during work, you answer. Children come first. Carmen starts crying. At my last job, they fired me for speaking Spanish. They said I had to speak English only. Here, you can speak whatever language makes you comfortable. We have workers from Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and the Philippines. This hotel is like the United Nations. Everyone laughs, and Carmen feels welcome for the first time in years. This is the power of kindness, friends. When someone shows you kindness, you want to pass it on to others. Maria experienced kindness from James, and now she's sharing that kindness with other workers. 6 months after Maria's promotion, something amazing happens. The Grand Palace Hotel wins the Best Service Award from the city's tourism board. The mayor comes to present the award at a special ceremony. Local news stations are there to cover the story. James Wellington gives a speech about the hotel's success. This award belongs to our amazing housekeeping team, led by Maria Rodriguez. Maria taught us that when you treat workers like family, they treat guests like family too. The audience applauds as Maria steps forward. She's wearing a beautiful new dress that James bought for her. Thank you, Mr. Wellington. This hotel is special because everyone here cares about each other. When workers are happy, guests are happy too. A reporter asks Maria about her story. Mrs. Rodriguez, we heard you were almost fired from this same hotel. How does it feel to now be receiving this award? I learned that sometimes the worst day of your life can become the best day of your life. I was fired for helping my son, but Mr. Wellington saw that a mother's love is not a weakness, it's a strength. The audience gives Maria a standing ovation. Do you agree with Maria? Can the worst day become the best day? Have you ever experienced something like this in your life? 2 years pass. Miguel is now 10 years old and one of the best students in his class. He speaks perfect English and Spanish, and he's helping other kids who are learning English. Miguel visits his mother at work every day after school. He does his homework in Maria's office, and sometimes he helps translate for Spanish-speaking guests. One day, a famous businessman from Spain stays at the hotel. He only speaks Spanish and is having trouble communicating with the front desk. Miguel happens to be in the lobby doing homework when he hears the man's frustration. Disculpe, señor. ¿Necesita ayuda? Excuse me, sir. Do you need help? The businessman's face lights up. Sí, no hablo inglés muy bien. Yes, I don't speak English very well. Miguel helps translate between the businessman and the hotel staff. The businessman is so impressed that he asks to meet Miguel's parents. When he learns about Maria's story, the businessman offers Miguel a full scholarship to a private bilingual school. This boy is special. He will be a great leader someday. His mother raised him well. Maria cries happy tears. Miguel will now get the best education possible. 3 years after that day, when Maria almost got fired, James Wellington calls Maria to his office. Maria, I have some news. I'm opening a new hotel in Miami, and I want you to be the general manager. Maria can't believe what she's hearing. General manager? But sir, I'm just a cleaning lady who got promoted. No, Maria, you're a natural leader who cares about people. You've turned our housekeeping team into the best in the city. You've shown kindness to every worker and every guest. That's what makes a great manager. James explains that the new hotel will focus on hiring immigrants and single mothers, giving them opportunities to build better lives. I want you to create programs to help workers learn English, finish their education, and advance in their careers. You understand their struggles because you lived them. Maria accepts the job. She moves to Miami with Miguel, who is now 13 and an honor student. The new hotel becomes famous for its amazing service and for helping workers build successful careers. Maria hires Carmen as her assistant manager, and together they create a workplace where everyone feels valued. Today, Maria Rodriguez is one of the most respected hotel managers in Miami. Miguel is 16, speaks 3 languages, and wants to become a lawyer to help immigrant families. James Wellington visits Maria's hotel regularly. He calls Maria one of his best investments, not because she makes money, but because she makes lives better. Maria never forgot that day when she was fired for answering her son's call. She keeps a photo on her desk from that day. It shows her crying while packing her cleaning supplies. Next to it is another photo from last month, Maria receiving the Manager of the Year award from the Hotel Industry Association. Maria always tells her story to new employees. Never be ashamed of caring about your family. A job that doesn't allow you to be a good parent isn't worth having. But when you find people who understand that family comes first, you give them your best work in return. Mrs. Thompson, the manager who fired Maria, now works at a small motel across town. She makes less money and has no respect from her workers. Sometimes Mrs. Thompson sees Maria's success in the newspaper and wonders what her life would be like if she had shown kindness instead of cruelty that day. Kindness is like a seed, friends. You never know how big it will grow or how many lives it will touch. James showed kindness to Maria. Maria shows kindness to her workers, and those workers show kindness to hotel guests. One act of kindness can change the whole world. Today, 5 years later, here's where everyone is. Maria Rodriguez is now the regional manager for Wellington Hotels, overseeing 5 luxury hotels in Florida. She's married to Carlos, a kind teacher she met at Miguel's school. Miguel Rodriguez is 18 and just got accepted to Harvard Law School with a full scholarship. He wants to specialize in immigration law. James Wellington has opened 12 more hotels that focus on hiring and promoting immigrants and single parents. His hotels are known as the best places to work in the hospitality industry. Carmen, Maria's former assistant, is now the general manager of the original Grand Palace Hotel. She has 2 daughters in college. The Grand Palace Hotel has won the Best Service Award every year since Maria's promotion. Workers from other hotels ask to transfer there because they know they'll be treated well. James still visits his mother's grave every month. He tells her about Maria and Miguel and how her lessons about kindness continue to change lives. Maria keeps a photo of her mother on her office desk. Next to it is a note that says, "Mia, I'm proud of you. Love, Mama." A note Miguel wrote for her on Mother's Day. This story shows us that kindness is never wasted. When James could have walked away and minded his own business, he chose to help Maria. When Maria could have become bitter about her struggles, she chose to help others. Miguel learned from watching his mother that success means lifting up others, not just yourself. Every day, we have chances to show kindness. Maybe it's helping a coworker who's struggling, or understanding when someone makes a mistake because they're worried about their family. Maybe it's seeing the person behind the uniform, the hotel cleaner who's also a loving mother, the cashier who's also a college student, the security guard who's also someone's father. Remember, friends, kindness doesn't cost anything, but it's worth everything. It can turn the worst day of someone's life into the beginning of their best life. Maria's story started with tears in a hotel hallway, but it became a story of hope, success, and the power of human kindness. The next time you see someone who needs help, remember Maria and James. You might be holding the key to someone's dreams without even knowing it. So here's my final question for you, dear viewers. Have you ever been in Maria's situation, needing help but afraid to ask? Or have you been in James's position, able to help someone but unsure if you should get involved? What did you do, and how did it turn out? I want to hear your stories in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to choose kindness. Don't forget to like this video if Maria's story touched your heart, Subscribe for more inspiring stories and share this video with someone who needs to hear that kindness can change everything. Until next time, remember, be the James Wellington in someone's story. You never know whose life you might change.